Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you are new. Today we're gonna do just a couple of quick, easy freezer meals. I had been doing month-long freezer meals or month-long meal planning, and then I would do like one big freezer prep for the month and make some freezer meals. And the last month, maybe a month and a half even, I dropped off and didn't do it, and I am feeling the effects of that now. So it is really nice to have like some meals put together and just ready to roll from the freezer. So these are a lot of ones where you can just take them out and either get them defrosted and put them in your Instant Pot or your slow cooker. And it is really easy and really nice to have on hand, both for busy days or busy nights, and also if you just wanted to take over a meal to a neighbor or a friend or something like that, you can just pull one out from your freezer and take it over. Now, they're not the prettiest because I do just dump them in bags most of the time. They're not casserole type dishes, but you know, a meal is a meal. And so we're gonna put together a couple of meals. What I hope to make today is some taco soup, honey Dijon pork, lime shredded pork, and then cranberry orange pork chops. So pork and ground beef are going to be the meat that I'm working with today. So let's get to it. One of the recipes calls for taco seasoning, so I'm going to whip up some more since I am out. For that, I am just using the Wellness Mama recipes that she uses or mixes for it. I will link it down below for you as well, but it calls for a quarter cup of cumin. So that's what I have here. Calls for a quarter cup of chili powder, but I find that that's too much for my kids. So I'm just gonna use like maybe half of that, probably not even that much. Garlic powder. And then just a teaspoon of black pepper. My kids are in the next room. They're always in the next room they're always right in the next room when I'm filming. So, you know, it's mom life. It's okay. Oh my goodness, I can't get that open. I think I don't have very much left in here, so I'm just gonna put the rest in. And that's it. And so I'm just gonna put the lid on and shake it up. And we have our taco seasoning done. Okay, for the taco soup, I am going to put in a can of diced tomatoes with the juice. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in. I'm gonna make 2 of these. And then it calls for a can of diced tomatoes, a can of corn, but I don't have any right now. So I actually purchased some dried corn from Azure. If you've not done Azure Standards, it's really great. I like to do that just to have bulk on hand. So this corn, it is just dried corn, and I've never cooked this way, but because it's going to be a soup, I think it's going to be okay. So I'm going to put in about a half a cup of dried corn in here, and we'll see if it turns out. That actually doesn't look like very much, so I'm going to do maybe 3/4. So what I have here is a quarter cup, and I just did 3 of them. So 3/4 of a cup. I'm going to do corn in here. Then I'm also, just to sneak in a little veggies, I make these green cubes. This is just like power green. So that's how they sell it at the store. But it's like Swiss chard, kale, spinach, all the good stuff. And then I blend it up in my NutriBullet with a little bit of coconut water, just so that the blender will get going. And then I freeze them in ice cubes, and I put them in smoothies and things. But I'm also going to throw a cube in each one of these here, just to add a little bit more veggies into the soup. And then it calls for onion. Of course, I'm out of fresh onion too. We just kind of make it work around here. So I have some of this chopped dried onion. I'm going to put some of that in there. So because I have so many dried ingredients, I'll probably have to add extra broth or water to this, and I'm totally okay with that. My daughter's here next to me listening to a book, so there's probably some background noise in there. And then we are also going to add in taco seasoning and then the ground meat. I'm going to put a tablespoon of the taco seasoning in each one. And then I bought ground beef from Costco. It comes in this 3-pack here. So I'm going to do about 1.5 packs in each one. And I am going to put it in raw. I'm okay with this. If you are not, cook the ground beef first and then put it in there. The reason that I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in raw and then cook it that way is so that way if we have any leftovers, I can freeze it again. Now you do what you feel is best for your family, but we have cooked this way before and I'm okay with it. So like I said, you do you. If you didn't feel comfortable throwing it right in there, you could also freeze this separately and put it together and then have it ready to roll that way too. Just cutting this in chunks with my hands here. Okay, and that is it for the taco soup. The day of, I will probably add some broth in here to cook it up, but because also I added the meat on top, that when I go to empty it out, the meat will be on the bottom of the pan, and it'll be ready to roll. It'll hit that pan bottom. Actually, I think I'm going to kind of smush it out this way, so it won't take that long to defrost if I defrost it first. So here's 2 meals done. Okay, so the next one that we're gonna do, actually, I'm gonna do the lime shredded pork. If I would have bought 2 packages, I could have done 2 of each, but I'm just going to do 1 lime shredded and then one honey Dijon because I don't think that I've used these recipes before. So just in case my family, if they're not a favorite of my family's, I won't have a spare one of those. So we're going to do the lime shredded pork first. And this I just bought pork loin roast, but I think actually the honey Dijon called for pork sirloin, so I don't know if that's a different cut, but this is what I got from Costco. I just got a double bag of it to make my life kind of easier. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to go ahead and put this one in the other bag so that once I wash my hands, I can be done washing my hands. I don't touch that again. For the lime shredded, we need a tablespoon of honey. My honey is kind of thickening up here, so I'm going to fight with it. But it's still going to work. It's going to be totally fine. So I'm going to eyeball how much. Say that's a good healthy tablespoon there. Oh my gosh. Put that there. And then it needs the juice of 2 limes. And of course we're improvising. I don't have limes, but I have this lime juice stuff. So we're going to use this. And I'm going to imagine what the juice of 2 limes was. Maybe 3 limes. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And that's it. Okay, so here is our lime shredded pork. My honey is kind of sticking to the bag, but I feel like once it freezes, it'll be okay. Let's do the honey Dijon now. Again, we're gonna need some honey, so I'm gonna fight with this for a second and get it in there. This one calls for a 1/4 cup of honey, so. I would say that's about a 1/4 cup. And in case you're wondering, I'm going to put this honey knife in this cup, and then I'm going to make myself some tea in a little bit because we're not wasting that honey. Okay, and then we're gonna put in some green beans. It says 16 ounces of green beans, which I'm guessing is about a can, but I have some frozen green beans, so I'm just gonna throw in a couple of handfuls of that. Actually, I'm gonna move over to this larger bowl. I had it in the bowl so that it wouldn't, there we go, flip over, but I think we're good. 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. We're gonna eyeball it. 1, 2, and then half a teaspoon, it says of ground thyme, but I don't have ground thyme, we just have this one, so I'm just gonna throw it in. And I'm actually gonna put in a little bit extra. Half a teaspoon of salt. And then 2 teaspoons of pepper. I'm actually just gonna do maybe 1 teaspoon because my kids don't really like black pepper. So I'm just gonna do 1 teaspoon of it. And this one is done. This one, because I put the roast down first, when I go to empty it in, the green beans are gonna go in on the bottom. So when I go, I'm gonna defrost it the day before, and then I'm just gonna switch it around the day that I cook so that the roast is down on the bottom. But 1 more meal done, 2 more to go. Okay, last one. This one is gonna be the cranberry orange pork chops. This one also calls for green beans, so we're gonna put some green beans in here, just a couple of handfuls. The recipe technically calls for 16 ounces. Again, you can use a can if you want, or a pound of frozen green beans. Like I said, I just have this giant bag from Costco, so I am going to throw in just a couple of handfuls and hope it's for the best. So green beans are like the only vegetable that my kids will eat without complaint, and so that's like the vegetable we eat the most, because I mean, any way I can get it in, right? So this bag, we just bought it. It is a 5-pound bag of green beans, and it is almost done now. I realize I just used some for the freezer here, but we also have been using handfuls since we found it at Costco again. So we put the green beans in. We're also going to need, it calls for 9 ounces of marmalade. So this one is 17 ounces. I'm just going to use half for each bag. And then cranberries. This was a bag of cranberries, just the regular size. And then a packet, it says a packet of onion soup mix, but we went ahead, I have a another Wellness Mama French onion mix that we do here, so we're gonna use this instead. And then it calls for 2 pounds of pork chops. We get our pork chops, I had some from Butcher Box, so they're already frozen, so I wanna hurry and get these in here because I don't want them to defrost. I wanna just freeze it like that. So I'm gonna use 2 packages per bag. Okay, and that's it for this one. Okay, that's it. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 meals. I know it's a kind of awkward angle and the lights are like going out on me because it's a little bit later, but we did all this. I probably could have done it under an hour. As it is, it probably only took about an hour. And I had to like run downstairs and get the tomato cans. I had to run in and out. to get like the freezer things, the green beans and things like that. So if I had all my ingredients prepped, probably would have even taken less time. But these are just a couple of simple meals, a couple of simple meals. There we go. I can make the words. These are just a couple simple meals, freezer meals that we've done to kind of help out later this month when we just want to throw something in the crock pot or slow cooker and have the main portion of our dishes be done. So I'm going to throw these in the freezer, and then I'm actually going to start dinner for tonight. If I had thought ahead, I could have done this in the morning and thrown one of these to cook for dinner tonight, but you know, we're just last minute over here, and that's okay. I actually have some taco meat defrosting. I made that in a different freezer meal prep video. I will link that in up here somewhere, and then down in the description for you as well. So we're just gonna make tacos, but I'm gonna get these into the freezer and have them done. Thanks so much for watching and hanging out with me. If you like these kind of videos, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below if there are some other kind of videos that you'd like for us to do, or if you've been watching, which ones are your favorites. Thanks so much.